And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rollsicle. My name's Nathaniel. I'm the host here at the channel. I'm joined by my lovely producer, Ashley. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
There she is. And we are the owners of Rollsicle, back with another one of the classic videos we used to make here on the channel. Commander deck unboxings. There's not as many of these anymore, but Lorwyn Eclipsed did have two that we were excited to pick up and grab, kind of harkening back to the old days. We will say, before we jump into opening this, any likes, comments, subscribes, any of it is greatly appreciated. Any and all of it is greatly appreciated because you guys are what makes Rollsicle so awesome, and you guys have been pushing us forward into way bigger status for a channel than we ever would have thought we would get to anytime soon. So thank you guys so much for that. Another thing that we'll say that we've just been saying at the beginning of these, the price of these have gone up, the value of the cards in them have gone down, and they've gotten rid of the collector booster sample pack. So just putting it out there, be careful with the money you spend. These products are getting less and less worth it. They're decreasing the value and increasing the price, and we can see that pretty much everywhere. The last little disclaimer we have for you guys is we actually noticed after the recording of the last one that the cards were legitimately printed off. Like, you could see the different colors that were used for printing the cards on a good portion, if not all of the cards. And that blur effect that I was talking about was not me going crazy. It was legit. So we're going to be looking closely at this one and seeing if these are the same way. But nonetheless, we're going to give it its chance. Dance of the Elements. It is a 5-color commander deck. Summon huge elementals and sacrifice and duplicate. Battle your friends with powerful magic, with powerful creatures and spectacular spells in Commander, Magic's most popular multiplayer format. Throw everything you've got at the enemy with Ashling's Light guiding the way, summoning massive elementals at a discount with splashy battlefield entry effects. If you sacrifice those heavy hitters, never fear, Ashling can copy them. Ashling is a nimble flamekin from Lorwyn who casts magic through her dancing. After a long journey of self-discovery across the plane, she finally achieved a level of power other flamekin can only dream of, the fabled fourth path. All right. Shall we get into this, darling? Let's tear it open. Oh, lame. 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 This thing is not being nice today. Okay. I guess it's designed to tear in the one way. So. It says, become a chromatic aberration. I am a chromatic aberration. You gotta get hyped, people. Gotta get hyped. No collector booster sample pack because we're garbage. Throw your trash at your wife. Yeet! She's fine. Anyways, don't you worry, guys. The value has not decreased in the slightest because we are still getting a quality deck box experience here. Does work for storing the deck, though. All things considered, it's passable. A couple of cutouts if you need them, but we're not going to use them. Yeet! I promise she's okay, guys. She actually asked for the bit because last time I forgot to do it.
Yeah.
And we are going to dive right into the lore. Ashling the Limitless. Ashling is a nimble flamekin from Lorwyn who casts magic through her dancing. Look at that art, guys. Look at that art. That's clean. That's beautiful. Pursuing a lifelong calling, she embarked on a journey to find a mythic elemental being, ultimately awakening new reserves of power and terrifying darkness within her. As time passed and Lorwyn Shadowmoor became one, Ashling wrestled with the duality of her existence, haunted by thoughts of black smoke and icy flames. Becoming a pilgrim once again, she ventured to the pilgrim beyond. The primal beyond, in search of a truth to conjoin her light and shadow. Rumors swirled upon her return that she had studied under an elemental above elementals, a conjunction of moon and sun beyond the veil of sense. Now she walked with her two selves in peace. Knowing a new truth, although Lorwyn Shadowmoor was not inherently bound by duality, it may become something more because of it. Mass of Mysteries. As Una, Queen of the Fae, was struck down to usher in a new age across Lorwyn Shadowmoor, a curious new entity was born, the Mass of Mysteries. This boundless elemental represents the potential of that which is unknown, traversing the plane and transforming the certain into the uncertain. With every step it takes, fallow fields begin to grow flora never before seen. Raging rivers fill with fish and run dry. And people, happy in their ways and lives, leave home to find something more. Playing the deck, Evoke Victory. Connect with the raw elemental energy of the plane to bring power and value to the commander table. Ashling allows you to cast your expensive elementals at a discount so that you can take advantage of their powerful abilities that trigger when they enter the battlefield. Once you sacrifice an elemental, Ashling makes a temporary token of it, giving double the value. In the late game, with more mana at your disposal, you can pay Wooburg to keep those tokens around and overwhelm your opponents. If Massive Mysteries is your commander, play a big elemental and attack with it, getting even more copies. At other times, you'll want to hold off on casting Massive Mysteries until you've crafted a board. Then give Myriad to something that's already poised to strike. Here we go. You guys know the drill. We're going to take a look at the tokens. Then we're going to read the commander. Then we're going to get into the deck proper. Bam. Boom. Bang. In case you don't know how to play. And in case you don't know what to buy, I guess. No, this is types of formats to play. So I guess what to buy for different formats. All right, we've got I need to scoot in. Ooh. All right, we've got a copy, a 5/5 elemental, a copy, a 1/1 changeling shapeshifter, an 0/1 plant, a copy, an elemental, plant, and a shapeshifter. Flipping it over to a copy, a 4/4 flying elemental, a 4/4 rhino warrior, a star elemental. This token's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. A copy, a treasure, another flying elemental, another rhino warrior, another of the star elemental, and finally, a treasure. And here we go. Let's get into our actual commander here, which, by the way, is not Wooburg in mana cost. She instead has a Wooburg ability that is making that color identity. She is 2 and a red, 2/3, that says elemental spells you cast from your hand have Evoke 4. If you cast a spell for its Evoke cost, it is sacrificed when it enters. However, it does say whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, you get to create a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste until end of turn. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay Wooburg. So the whole point of this deck is get Ashling on turn 3, and then on turn 4, start evoking in powerful elemental effects that don't actually stick around until you start getting all of your colors on board. That's literally what she does. I don't know why the foils are so bent these days, but it is what it is. All right, let's get into it. We are 5 colors. How many lands is it going to be? I don't know. I think it's going to be short, though. I'm going to go here. Okay, we're still swamping. Oh, dang, there's a lot of forests. There's our islands. I honestly think the printing quality is just kind of bad. Because I haven't noticed as bad of blur, but like there are still things that are a little off. So here are the plains. That's what they look like. Here are the islands, the swamps, the mountains, and the forest. I mean, look at this. We get way more forests. We get 1, 2, 3, 4... get 8 forests, and then it looks like 2 of every other land. Even though our commander is red. Make that make sense. Here we go. Thriving More. This land area is tapped. As it enters, choose a color other than black. Are we going to have all 5 of the thriving lands? Is this going to be that slow of a mana base? Because that's bad. If this is that slow of a mana base, that is bad. I really don't want to turn... That's the red thriving card. Okay, it was only 2 so far.
I would put money on there being another one under there.
Oh my god, they're not good. They're not good. They're not good. Oh my, the 5-color mana. The thing is that a 5-color mana base is so hard to do, and it takes like $200 to make a good 5-color mana base or more. Like to make one that's even acceptable takes like $100 to $200, and the deck doesn't cost that, so I know it doesn't have a good mana base. Tap to add a color list. Pay 1 tap. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you spend this mana to cast your commander, it enters with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of times it's been cast. Yeah, not worried about that. That's not great. There's the other one. There's another one. Thriving Isle. Oh, I pulled them both over on accident. Thriving Heath and Thriving Grove, white and green. They're all
owe me, mister.
in the... What do you mean I owe you?
I said I bet.
I didn't challenge the bet. I agree with you.
Dang it.
Path of Ancestry. This one's fine. Especially with the elemental sub-theme, it would appear. Cultivate, a classic. 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Reveal those cards. Put 1 on the battlefield, 1 to your hand. Battlefield 1 goes on tapped, by the way. Kodama's Reach, 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 on the battlefield and 1 into your hand.
That's why we have so many forests.
Yeah.
It's
because green's the ram color.
ram.
No, don't get me wrong. I just find it interesting that we don't have a green commander then. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna... It could prove a little difficult to get red so early on, but... Abundant Growth. Single green, enchantment or enchant land. When it enters, draw a card. Enchanted land has tap. Add 1 mana of any color. So that's color fixing of a land, but it does replace itself. It's a cantrip. Fertile Ground. 1 and a green enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional mana of any color. Okay, cool. So we are doing a good job using green to get all of our colors. Ingot Chewer. 4 and a red elemental. When it enters, destroy target artifact. It has Evoke for a single red, which is pretty cool. Because you can still do her ability when you evoke and sacrifice, even if you're not paying her 4 mana evoke option. Smoke Braider, 1 and a red elemental shaman. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast elemental spells or activate abilities of elementals. There's a card just like this in the set, though. Something like that. So maybe you can add one of those from the main set if it's not in there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right, 3 color. This one is the... Okay, let's start getting our colors right. Red, green, and white is Naya. I'm telling you, we spent the entire last video with a Jund deck calling it Grixis.
That was pretty bad.
Bant, I know Bant. She plays Bant. Her main deck right now is Bant. Sultai, we literally talked about this one in the last video, so I'm not going to get that one wrong. I bet we're going to have all of these. Are we going to have all of these? There's 10 of them. There's no way we're going to have all of them, right?
I don't think all of them. I think we'll have 5.
Savage Lands. This one is... this is Jund. We know it now. Jund.
That's what, 4?
And then Abzan. Here we go.
All right.
Teamer. I better get the 5 that are in Tarkir. Oh, is that it? Dang. Ancient Ziggurat. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. I didn't actually know that even existed. Unclaimed Territory. As this lane enters, choose a creature type. Tap to add a colorless, or add 1 mana of any color. Spend this only to cast the chosen type. Perfectly fine in creature type decks. Felwar Stone. Haven't seen this one in a while. This one's good. Add a mana of any color that a land and opponent control could produce, right? I mean, 2 mana rock that probably is pretty much an arcane signet, you know? Risen Reef. 1 in a Simic, elemental 1/1. When it enters or another elemental enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't, you may put it into your hand. That's pretty cool. Garruk's Uprising, so not bad when you evoke things in. They're still going to be able to trigger Garruk's Uprising and give you the card draw here. So, card draw. It's draw a card whenever a creature enters the power 4 or greater, and you can draw one if you play it and already have one with power 4 or greater. Foundation Breaker, 3 and a green. When it enters, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's got Evoke, 1 and a green, but of course, your commander will make a copy of it and keep it around. Eclipsed Flamekin. When this creature enters... Oh, this is the Eclipsed Flamekin from the set, from the main set. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an elemental, island, or mountain card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. Incandescent Soulstoke. 2 and a red. Other elemental creatures you control get +1/+1. 1 and a red. Tap. You may put an elemental creature from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. That's pretty cool. Choose a creature type. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. That is a really pretty version of Distant Melody. I love that version of Distant Melody. I think I still run this in Zadar, and I might put that version in there. Look at that. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh! Now, wait a minute. This is a different Arcane Signet. Even though we're still in Lorwyn.
Oh.
Add a mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Look at that one. I don't like it nearly as much as the other one.
It's like bells.
Oh, but she's going to love this command tower.
Oh, I believe it. Is it a... Oh, it's just a rock. It's a rock.
I mean, it's pretty. I actually think I like the other Soul Ring more, but it's pretty.
The other Soul Ring is pretty hard. Oh, this one's...
Secluded Courtyard. Choose a creature type, tap, add a colorless, or you can use any color as long as it's a creature or an ability of that type of creature. Crib Swap, which we saw printed into the main set here. Kindred Instant for Shapeshifter, Changeling. Exile target creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 Shapeshifter. Flame Braider, 1 in a red elemental bard. This is the one I was talking about that's in the set. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. I actually played this one against you to cast elementals. Really cool because you could... Oh, you know what would go crazy in this? I bet they didn't put this one in. You could upgrade with it. The 4 mana one that doubles the triggers of... And that was just an uncommon. Shimmer Creep. 4 and a black elemental menace. Whenever this creature enters, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Again, from the set. I'm tired of them including cards from the set. Let me do that as upgrades. Shriek Maw. 4 and a black fear. When this creature enters, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. And it's got Evoke. 1 and a black. Reality Shift, this one's fun. Exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of their library. Decent removal, but you just never know what's going to happen with that manifest, which is always fun. Mole Drifter. This is 4 and a blue elemental flying. When this creature enters, you draw 2 cards, and of course it has Evoke. Love that you'll get a copy of that, though, with your commanders, though, so that's nice. Path to Exile, always good. We didn't have white in the other deck, so we didn't see these staples of single target removal, but there's the path. Flamekin Village. As this land enters, you may reveal an elemental card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tap. Tap to add a red. Red, tap. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Exotic Orchard. Definitely a must-have in a 5-color deck. That'll probably save you multiple times. Raging Ravine. This one's the one that, this is the Gruul land that you can pay for. It turns into a 3/3 elemental with whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, so it gets bigger and bigger as it attacks. Pretty cool. Everything okay, love?
Yeah.
Primal Beyond. Oh, this is where okay, that's cool lore. This is where they said in the lore that she went, and it's one of the lands in the deck. That's pretty cool. As this land enters, you may reveal an elemental card from your hand. If you don't, this land enters tapped. Tapped out a colorless, tapped out any mana color. Spend this mana only to cast elemental. Okay, sure. Whatever. We have like 3 of those effects in here. Chromatic Lantern. I bet this has some money on it. This is like a $2 card. Land you control, have tap for any color, and this taps to add any color. So this is just your... do I want to color fix everything? Yes, please. Color fix everything. It goes in every 5-color deck you're ever going to make. I need one for Ur-Dragon, and this deck might have that come out of it just for Ur-Dragon. Although I have other ones. It's not the only one I have. We might have pulled one in Commander Masters, in which case I would just use that one. Jagantha, the Wellspring. You'll think she's cute, I think. 4 and a red or a green hybrid. Companion, no card in your starting deck has more than 1 of the same mana symbol in its mana cost. I don't think we're running this as a companion, but you can tap it to add Wooburg. This mana can't be spent to pay generic mana cost. Oh, so this exists exclusively for you to tap it and get Wooburg. Maelstrom Wanderer, 5 and a teamer. Creatures you control have haste, and it has Cascade. That's a hell of an enters effect. Cascade, Cascade, and then it doubles. So you Cascade, 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 Cascade. Oh my
Yeah.
god. All for 4 mana. Oh, you do not want to hit that one. Horde of Notions. Wooburg, legendary creature,
Where are you getting
Elementer.
4 mana from, honey?
You can evoke for 4
okay.
mana.
Okay. Sorry, I was like, you just handed me an 8 cost.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why it's so powerful. It's because it's an 8 cost.
Yeah.
You can 4 mana it. Now, you get its double cascade, then it sacrifices. But whenever you sacrifice, you make a copy. So you're going to pay 4 mana, get its ability, sack it, copy it, get its ability again. That's a crazy good card in this deck. Wooburg, Vigilance Trample, Haste, 5/5. You can pay Wooburg. You may play target elemental card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. I mean, that's fine. You would definitely want to have some good elemental cards in your graveyard already. Vernal Sovereign, 4 and a Celestia. Elemental Elk, 4/4. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, create a green and white elemental creature token with this token's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. So that's the tokens that we saw that they gave us. Feyburrow Elder. 1 and a Simic, Vigilance, 0/0 Treefolk Druid. This creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. Tap. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Wow. That's kind of broken. I wonder why Bloom Tinder is so powerful if this does the same effect. Is this 1 more mana? Is that 1 more mana that strong? I don't know. Maybe.
I think that creature also has.
I think Bloom Tinder is also an elf. That might help. Yeah. Return of the Wild Speaker. I don't know if we own this card yet, and I'm so glad we do because this is such a good card. Listen to this. 5 mana, choose 1. Instant speed. I'll read the bottom one first because that's the crappy one. Non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. That's the crappy one. You're in a non-human deck and everything gets +3/+3 for 5 mana. Okay, that's still pretty good. It's like an overrun effect that doesn't give trample. Or you can choose the top one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. Dude, you just run this in every non-human deck that runs big creatures. Like Green Stompy, this is the best card. It's like 5 mana, draw 12 because you have a big dinosaur on the board. You know, like... Oh, I don't know if I have one of those yet. I'm very glad that we have another one, even if we do. Realm Walker, 2 and a green, Changeling, 2/3. As it enters, choose a creature type. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of your library. Never a bad card. Good in every creature type deck that runs green. Happy we have it. Bane of Progress, 4 and 2 green elemental. When it enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature for each permanent destroyed this way. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't benefit from doubling its enters effect because it destroys them all and then just destroys them all again. Kindred Summons. This is the green card from the Kindred cycle, like with Kindred Dominance, Kindred Summons, Kindred yada yada. Kindred Dominance is such a good card. 5 and 2 green. Instant. Choose a creature type. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put those cards onto the battlefield. Then shuffle the rest of the cards into your library. This goes insane with, I think, smaller creatures. This isn't that bad. This is like, it's 7 mana. And you don't, this is an instant, so you don't get to make this any cheaper.
No.
It's like 7 mana, go get 2 elementals or 3 elementals because you have 3 elementals. Okay.
Yeah.
7 mana, go get 24 elves because you have 24 elves already on the battlefield is probably just win the game, right? Like, yeah. Definitely, in my opinion, better with those smaller creatures in green. Whenever a creature you control, Cream of the Crop. Whenever a creature you control enters, you may look at the top X cards of your library. X is that creature's power. If you do, put one of those cards on top of your library and the rest on the bottom of it. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Big thing enters, you just get to look at like the top 7 and be like, oh, I like this one. Let me put it on top. That's super cool. Blasphemous Act. This should effectively be a 1 red, deal 13 damage to each creature because it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. In a 4-player game. Not great in 1v1, which is what we play. We need friends. 3 and a red. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, I should clarify. We need local friends.
Yeah, we have friends.
We need local friends. We don't have a lot of friends in the area that aren't busy. If you do reveal cards from the top of your library, I guess we're also busy. Until you reveal a
Yeah.
creature card that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature, put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's a lot. But I see how, I mean, you can like the token, then you can sack the token, get another thing, and then that dies, and then you can, yeah, I'm starting to see it. Slither Muse, 4 mana, so 2 and 2 blue, 3/3 elemental. Whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And it's got a cheaper Evoke. No, it doesn't. That's a 4 mana Evoke. Hoofprints of the Stag, 1 and a white, Kindred Elemental enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, you may put a hoofprint counter on this enchantment. 2 and a white, remove 4 hoofprint counters, and you make the 4/4 white elemental flying creature. Okay, so that's what the other token was, the 4/4 flyer. Shatter the Sky. 2 and 2 white, each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card. Then you destroy all creatures, so it's just a board wipe that draws probably a couple different people a card. Timeless Lotus. Whoa. 5 mana, enters tapped. You can tap it to add Wooburg. I wonder how good this is. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of it from other Wooburg perspectives. Like, it's 5 mana next turn you could cast Ur-Dragon. You know what I mean? But, like, that's an expensive mana rock. Because it enters tapped.
Yeah, it's not great.
Omnath, Locus of the Royal, 1 and a Teamer, legendary creature elemental. Whenever it enters, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. Then it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. Not bad. Yarok the Desecrated, 2 and a Sultai, elemental horror with death touch and lifelink. If a permanent entering causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Because why not? Omnath, Locus of Rage. This is the very popular Omnath that people run in Gruul. This is the landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you just make a 5/5. That's crazy. To be fair, it's a 7 mana. 7 mana creature. Whenever Omnath or another elemental you control dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. Still not a bad thing to evoke in and then play your landfall. Muldrotha, because we don't have enough of these from Foundations. The Gravetide. Honestly, the fact that this got reprinted, and I checked earlier today because I was looking at it, and I think this is still worth like $2 or $3. So post reprint, this being worth that much is actually crazy. The Gravetide, 3 and a Sultai. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. Pretty huge. It's going to let you play a lot of lands if you have lands in there. Titan of Industry, 4 and 3 green, elemental, 7/7 reach trample. When it enters, choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target player gains 5 life. Create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token, or put a shield counter on a creature you control. That'll be a fun one to evoke in. Savala, Heart of the Wild. I was looking at this one also earlier because we have this one in Jumpstart. 1 and 2 green, legendary creature, Elf Scout. Whenever another creature enters, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. Tap, pay a green, tap it, add X mana in any combination of colors. Ooh, that'll help you get your Wooburg. Where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Green Warden of Murasa, 4 and 2 green elemental. When this creature enters, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. When it dies, you may exile it. If you do, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Not bad. Definitely nice to get the double triggers on that. 2 and 3 green elemental knight. Reach. When this creature enters, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put a land card from among them onto the battlefield and the rest in your graveyard. When this creature dies, you may exile it. If you do, put another target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Pretty neat. There's Avenger of Zendikar. I was like, there's no way in an elemental-focused deck that's heavy green we don't get Avenger of Zendikar. 5 and 2 green elemental. Whenever this creature enters, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. And then, whenever a land you control enters, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. Very good. I wish it said elemental or plant, but it's still very good. 6 mana sorcery, Haunting Voyage. Choose a creature type, return up to 2 creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was foretold, return all creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield instead. That's crazy. That's crazy. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Ooh. Fury. 3 and 2 red elemental incarnation. Double strike. When this creature enters, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. And it does have Evoke to just exile a red card from your hand. That's pretty cool. Get that trigger twice for effectively free because you're just exiling red cards from your hand is awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Endurance. 1 and 2 green elemental incarnation. Flash reach. 3/4. When this enters, up to 1 target player puts all the cards from their graveyard on the bottom of their library in a random order. I mean, I guess that's not bad. And you can evoke this one in with exile a green card from your hand. Definitely not as cool as the red one. Abundant Countryside. Tap to... this one is, first of all, extremely pretty land. But I do believe this one is one that people were excited about. Tap to add a colorless. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. And then 6, tap, create a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. People were excited that there was a card that would make 1/1 Changelings. I'm not 100% sure why, but people were excited for it. Sodden Verdure. This is going to be such a slow mana base, though, with all those enters tapped lands.
All the thrivings.
This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basics, and there's not even that many basics in the... it's fine. It's fine. Rain Slicked Copse. This land enters tapped. Cycling. Subterfuge. 4 and a blue elemental incarnation. When this creature enters, target creature gains flying, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards until end of turn. That's not bad. Oh, and it's got Encore. We like Encore. Belonging. 5 and a white elemental incarnation. When this creature enters, you create 3 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with Changeling. It's a 6/6, and it also has Encore for 8, which just means exile it from your graveyard, and then you make a copy that attacks each opponent. So you actually don't mind those being in your graveyard. Lamentation is 5 and a black 5/4. When it enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls. You gain 3 life, and it also has Encore, so that's awesome. Impulsivity. 6 and a red. When this creature enters, you may cast 7/5. When this creature enters, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. That's powerful. Without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. That's really huge too. Especially if you someone made someone mill like a crazy instant or sorcery, 10 mana insane card, and you're just like, let me evoke this in for 4 and cast that for free. What would an insane instant or sorcery be?
Herald of Oath Beats.
That's a creature.
That is a creature, never mind.
And it requires knights. Yeah, Farewell would be pretty cool to just wipe the board. You could do, what was that one that I'm thinking of? It's like the white card. You know what I'm talking about? That if you control your commander, you can choose both, and it just gives your creatures indestructible, flying, vigilance, double strike, lifelink.
It's from Tarkir.
It's not. It's... I don't remember the name of it right now. It'll come back to me later. Jubilation. 5 and a green. When this creature enters, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. Okay, this is actually pretty solid too, because this will actually be 4 mana, get that twice. So you're actually giving him +4/+4 in trample.
That's crazy.
That's not bad if you have enough creatures. You'd have to have enough creatures though. Springleaf Parade. This is adorable. 2 X and 2 green. When this enchantment enters, create X 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with Changeling. Creature tokens you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Oh, this is huge. Creature tokens you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color is huge in elf decks.
Yeah.
Because this is another way to do that, and all of those little 1/1s would count as elves because they're shapeshifters. Look at the art. It's adorable.
Aww.
I knew you were going to like it. Elemental Spectacle. 5 and a green, vivid. You know what I haven't seen enough of in this? Vivid cards. Like cards that have the vivid mechanic.
Yeah, I've barely heard you say it.
Create a number of 5/5 red and green elemental creature tokens equal to the number of colors among permanents you control. Then gain life equal to the number of creatures you control. It's not bad.
I love Springleaf Burn.
Yeah, I bet that card's worth a good bit too.
It's so cute.
Oh, here's the weird Mass of Mysteries. Wooburg. So this one does cost Wooburg. Wooburg 5/5. First strike, vigilance, trample, elemental. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target elemental you control gains myriad until end of turn. Whenever it attacks for each opponent other than the defending player, you may create a token copy that's tapped and attacking. That's very powerful in multiplayer games. Obviously, I would never sub this in a 1v1.
Yeah.
But in a multiplayer game, I could see this go pretty crazy. Which, of course, I am never going to fault Wizards for designing for 4 players. That is what is typically played for Commander. We just happen to not get in a game store very often. And that is the deck in a bunch of orange vibrant sleeves because, you know, vivid, and the Commander in a nice yellowy gold one. So there is Ashling the Limitless. We are going to give it a shuffle and then rate the deck because once more, there is no Commander booster, Collector booster sample pack.
There you go.
Which is lame. All right, here's our first shuffle. Let them all slide into place. Beauty. It's a beauty.
I love you.
All right, darling, how you feeling about it?
It still seems really complicated.
This one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
like...
gotta find a way to get all your colors out.
Well, okay, I'll say this much, though. The Evoke ability is 4 colorless, right? So, like,
Yeah.
you really just need to get Ashling out.
That's true.
But it does confuse me a bit because Ashling's red, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I could see some games where you're just sitting there, you didn't pull any of your color fixing, and now you're like, well, crap.
What do I do?
You know. But I do think that the Evoke 4 colorless does mean that if you can get her out, you can play this deck without having Wooburg the whole time. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, 100%.
you'll benefit if you eventually get Wooburg, but you
Like-
could do it without having Wooburg the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think it's pretty neat. I'm relatively excited for it. What do you give it out of 10?
5.
Nice. I think for me, I'm more excited for it probably than you are.
Yeah.
But I think this would actually be easier to play
Was it the last one?
than the last one.
Yes.
So I do think I'll give it the same rating for both its actual, like, being a pre-con and my excitement for it, which I think for me is about a 6. I think it does something. I like that it's elementals. I like that they don't often print 5-color commander decks, so I like that they did that. I do think it's going to have
I like that it's 5 color and it's not something like Eldrazi.
Yeah. It's got
No,
a
it's
really
different.
bad mana base, but to be fair, they kept it affordable. They did 5 colors and kept it affordable, but I do think it's going to suffer a bit because of that and be pretty slow. And what they really did here was 2 color and hope you eventually get to Wooburg, right? Because that's really what this is. And you know what? That's probably the way to go if you're making it a $50 deck, you know,
100%.
and not
a $200 deck.
not a $200 deck, which, you know what?
Just for the land base.
Slivers is like a $150 deck.
Eldrazi wasn't rainbow. Slivers is rainbow.
Well, one of the Eldrazi ones is technically 6 colors because it was colorless and all 5.
I'm not going crazy.
But the one in Commander Masters was just colorless.
Colorless,
There was
because we had
the
Slivers.
Modern Horizons 3 Eldrazi one was the 6 color one.
Okay, so I'm not going crazy.
You're not going crazy.
Okay, cool.
I have not played with the Commander Masters one yet.
Yeah.
That Eldrazi one. But anyways, so yes, thank you so much for all the love and support, guys. We want to know what you think of this deck down in the comments below. Do know we will be skipping Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or at least right now, as far as we're aware. We are planning on skipping Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is unlikely for that to change.
Highly.
We are currently in the talks about how excited we are for Secrets of Strixhaven. So we will see how excited we are for that when it comes out. But we were excited to bring these to you guys. We might have to shift this content kind of elsewhere into like upgrading commander decks or making other commander decks or budget commander decks or whatever it might be, because we might not be buying the pre-cons as much. We will end on the unfortunately sour note that, like we said, the value in this product is diminishing, You know, one of the reasons I bought so many of them even before, and I'm saying I because I'm talking about the
did.
ones I literally bought before I even met Ashley. One of the reasons it was one of my favorite products was because of the value you got out of them. Like you were almost certainly getting 2 to 2.5 times your dollar value out of these things. And they played fun. They had a lot of good themes to them. And we've just kind of watched that diminish. And they've taken out every fun aspect of them. They've taken out the little bit of random you got in the sample pack. They took out the nice, like, thicker card. They used to have giant cards. I didn't buy them when they had those ones. But I've just watched it become less and less. And it kind of hurts. So we'll see if we continue buying the product. But just know there might be a bunch of skips in there as we are going to have to be a little more picky with what we spend our dollars on. But of course, we hope you enjoy the video. We want to know what you think of this deck down below, and we will see you in whatever comes next. Until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.